Number 4, is the goal aimed at seeking good or at avoiding bad? Nobody likes to lose, and many people positively hate it. That much is obvious, but what is not so obvious is the relative value we assign to losses versus gains. The human mind is biased toward feeling more psychological pain due to a loss compared to the joy experienced due to an equivalent gain. In other words, people tend to be pretty joyful at winning $10, but disproportionately pissed off at losing that same $10. At first, this can appear depressing because it could suggest a rather bleak picture of human flourishing, that people should spend all their time avoiding losses rather than seeking payoffs. Researchers have shown, however, that there is an important wrinkle in this picture. That is, while we assign a greater negative value to losses as compared to the positive value that we assign to equivalent gains, we're actually made much happier by seeking gains than by avoiding losses. One example of this is in research on married couples, where couples who actively approached their conflicts and sought to resolve them were more content in their relationships than couples who avoided confrontation. Now, this is clear to pretty much anyone in a romantic relationship because, like an infected wound, allowing a conflict to fester under the surface always leads to greater pain in the long run. However, we can generalize this to other areas of life. The way I think of this is that life is basically a numbers game, in the sense that you have to take a lot of risks if you want to ever be rewarded. All right, more concretely, when your mode of operation is to avoid negative experiences, whether social interactions, painful physical exercise, or uncomfortable conversations, you lose out on many potentially positive experiences. And this is where the calculation of the negativity bias gets flipped on its head. Yes, it's true that losing a sports game will make you more upset than winning that same game would make you happy. But now imagine that the competition is composed of 3 games rather than just one. If you lose one game but win the other 2, then not only did you win 2 out of 3 games, but in a winner-take-all situation, you would have won the whole competition. And that's something that wouldn't have happened if you were focused on avoiding negative experiences and losses. As quality of life researcher Joseph Sergi has put it, while most coping strategies involving avoidance serve to reduce negative affect in a particular life domain, they also reduce the possibility of positive affect. So the bottom line is this: don't be afraid to take thoughtful risks. They're likely to have a payoff much greater than if you avoid them entirely, even if you do pay a substantial cost at times.